Hi folks, we're back. Groove Technique and Musical Drumming. Episode 1 in our intermediate series. Head to musicaldrumming.com if you haven't already and sign up for the full package. 4 levels available, beginner, intermediate, advanced, and master. In this episode, we're going to get back to our single strokes here, and we're going to look at putting all of our note values together, running from our quarter notes to our eighth note triplets, feeling comfortable with the changes, like the transitions between note values. We're going to get into accents and accent phrases, a crucial aspect of drumming. The single stroke roll, you know, it's the single most used rudiment, and it's, if you examine all the different things that you can do just by using your dynamics, your accents, grace notes, you can play in an extremely musical way, which is what we're all about here at JMC Studio Montreal. All right, I want to take a second to thank my sponsors. Shout out to Scott Atkins at Remo, to Peter Maranzak at Pearl, Dave Rundle at Headhunter Sticks and Creations, and Lenny and Lauren down at the drum shop at Steve's Music in Montreal. Righto, so first off, playing our 7 different note values. In a continual sequence at the kit, using a quarter note bass drum, and you'll see I'm going to play them all on the snare drum, then around the drums. If you're just getting to this kind of thing, things like the eighth note triplets, of course, when you go around the drums, you're going to be having that left hand land first every second time. Work on the transitions, feel the syllables strongly, and have a picture in your mind when you go from eighth notes to eighth note triplets and how that feels. Accents. Individual accents, flipping back the stick on the previous note as we have discussed. Use that nice technique, get that stick flipping back in time. Use your TMTS philosophy. I'm going to play them for you slowly first, break them into pieces, and then we'll create some phrases with them, okay? We're talking about one individual note of 4 being accented. The first note, that's 1. Then E, the second note, and the third note, and the fourth note. You can use the numerical value if you're just getting into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course our bass drum is playing our quarter note. One E and 2 E and 1 E and My beginning students, I give this to fairly young students, and that bass drum, that independence, it's interesting when you're learning these things, if you slow it way down so that you can actually watch one thing happen in another, is a great way to break it into pieces and develop it. But then it also, if you've got some independence already flowing, it can be distracting because it, quote unquote, doesn't look like itself anymore. Here's what it feels like, right? 3, 4. So let's put these together now in phrases, okay? A very typical accent phrase that you can find in, so many tunes is based on accenting every third 16th note, okay? 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. Ba ba da 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 da, okay? You search it out, and if you could think of a musical punch that you've heard, it's more than likely got those accents. What I've done here is we start off with 2 accents in that sequence, so the first accent and the fourth, 1 E and a, and then we add accents and we put into a phrase, first of all, rounded off in a measure, and second of all, going over the bar line, and eventually taking those accents and those groupings around the drums. Let's do it. All of those rounded off into a measure, I was accenting every third 16th note. Here's what it sounds like if you don't round it off and you keep those accents flowing over the bar line. 2, 3, 4. Now let's continue in this vein, and let's put together more than one accent. Kind of similar to what we did in our improvisation applications episode. We're using permutations here, right? We're finding the different ways to do one thing, moving it around in our sequence. So we've been accenting one note in our sequence at a time. In this next little section, we're going to add 2 accented notes in the different spots in the sequence and 3 accents. And then they'll start to play together in an improvisation. For all of this, we're going to use our left foot timekeeper, all right? If you haven't started working on it yet, you really got to do it. It will be freeing up the bass drum, and it's a quieter voice to play to, so it creates different musical situations. Here they go. All right, folks, we got one more note value to cover here. I hate to tell you, but the 7 that we've done, well, there's one more important one. The quarter note triplets is a 6/4 ratio. It represents exactly half of your 8th note triplets. And it sounds like this. So you can see the 6/4 is the same thing as 3/2. And what happens there is polyrhythmic. 3 the same time as 2. The simplest basic polyrhythms, an important part of fundamentals It's like it's an advanced concept in some ways and an ancient one. So check it out, 3/2 and 2/3. They have inherent rhythmic melodies that we can use to learn to play them. Here it is. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. A 2E, 1, a 2E, 1, a 2E. Same thing, but feeling one side or the other. That's crucial if you want to learn how to apply these, okay? 3/2 ratio, 2/3. 1, a 2E, 1, a 2E, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, from there we have 3/4 and 4/3. Slightly different, more complicated melody. 1, a 2, and 3E. 1, a 2, and 3E. So that's feeling the 3s. We got to feel it from the 4s as well. It's a little trickier, but it has its melody as well. 1, a 2, 3, and 4. 1, a 2, 3, and 4. Tune in next time, folks. In the meantime, try to apply those polyrhythms, work on them slowly, throw them up here and see what they make you think of.